Hello, everyone who's tuned in. I'm here today with Sister Karen Kelly. My name is Father Bill Brennan, St. Mary Magdalene Parish. The two of us are members of an ad hoc visioning committee as we are moving into a visioning process, discernment process with our parish to discern our pastoral plan for a year to 3 years. So thank you for all those who've registered so far for our visioning process and to get involved through our small groups. Our plan was to be meeting these small groups by early November, but with COVID-19 still being a major threat, we've moved this beginning date to a later time when COVID numbers and restrictions get to a level of greater safety. Of course, we can't predict when that's going to be, but in the meantime, our ad hoc visioning committee continues to meet and plan our way forward. We're delighted that we already have 80 people who've registered so far to be engaged with our small group and our prayer material that's required to join the small group. The more people we have praying with the discussion materials and sharing your thoughts and insights and reflections from this prayer material in small groups, the more clearly we're going to be able to hear God's voice and desires for us in our process and for our parish. So to help this to happen, we're going to continue to accept registration forms for a few more weeks. So we look forward to you signing up.
Bill, some people have mentioned that our latest communication explaining the visioning process left them with some questions. So can we look at those questions and maybe the answers will assist people in signing up for the small groups? And of course, like people out there who are watching this, if you don't join a small group, we'll still be inviting a wider parish participation for supporting those who have. What do you think, Bill?
That sounds great. I think that's a great idea, and we have some good questions to respond to here. So,
okay, how about if I start with the first question for you?
Okay, sounds great.
Is this visioning process initiated by the bishop? And is every parish doing it?
No, this has come from discussions over the last few years with the Parish Pastoral Council and then the Parish Finance Council, because they're key bodies in our parish that help us to live as a parish and vision and process and support our mission. And so their concern is to ensure that our parish focuses on the mission of Jesus Christ and how we're called to specifically to develop our parish life around that mission. So we need to be using our resources, our personnel, our finances, our properties to solely support this pastoral mission. And that requires us to pray and discern and plan rather than just living it day to day without a discerned vision. We don't want to just be signing checks and bills and that type of thing without a strong vision of making sure that we are in line with what God wants us to be doing and the dreams and desires we have that God would want us to be about. So that's what, hope that's a helpful answer.
That makes sense to me. And hopefully, yeah, it's clearer for others.
So Karen, the question that I've heard is that where does this discernment process come from?
Well, the main input and direction from this process is actually coming from Father Bill and myself. Father Bill has a long history of using and facilitating discernment processes with individuals and groups, and many of you would be aware of that because he's used it. I have a long experience of visioning and discernment process with my religious community, with the group of sisters that I belong to. The ad hoc committee has been praying the process as it gets developed. So all along the way, as we've been developing this process as an ad hoc committee, we've been using it so that we can then figure out where do we go next. Does that make sense, Bill?
Yep, I like that answer. I think that'll be clear for folks.
All right. Well, I have another one for you that I've heard often.
Sounds good.
In this whole process, we use that word discernment an awful lot. What the heck does discernment mean?
We're using that word in the context of faith. And so discernment means, in this context, engaging God intentionally, being intentional about engaging God in our decision-making as individuals and as groups, like parishes. And so that's what discernment is in a faith context. It requires people to pray individually, especially if you're part of a group that's discerning, and then to bring the fruit of that prayer to speak to each other about it. And the best method to do that is through small group sharing. So there'll be prayer exercises people will be given. They'll have some days to take a bit of time to pray with that material. Then they come back into small groups and they share that. And so we're hearing what is being prayed. And in this way, we get a clearer sense of where God is, what God would desire us to be about, and engages God in that process.
That makes sense.
So I have another question for you, Sister Karen, that I've heard. If I sign up for a small group, can I just come and try it out to see if I'm comfortable? Would that be possible?
Oh, sure, for sure. It's healthy to try at least a couple of sessions in anything. So definitely sign up and try to come to a few sessions, try it out, and then evaluate it prayerfully to see if you want to continue to be involved. We also might be evaluating how the process is working for people as we move along. So for all of us, it's like one step at a time. So definitely sign up and come and try it out to see how it works. I have another.
Sounds great.
Is that okay, Bill?
Yeah, it sounds, yeah. I like what you said there. So that'll be helpful.
All right. Well, I have another question for you, which a number of people have asked. In addition to expressing our hopes and desires in this process, can we bring our concerns and struggles too?
Well, certainly people are going to be welcome to bring whatever their hopes and desires and concerns and struggles might be. Anticipate this could include everything from their input on liturgy, on faith formation for children, youth, adults, outreach to the vulnerable, care of the sick, implementation of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action and our relationship with Indigenous peoples, engaging and acknowledging the pain of scandals and abuses in our church and appropriate responses that could happen within our parish community. And so, yeah, whatever it might be that people are hoping and desiring and concerned or struggling with, there'd be part of the process will be to engage that. So.
Good. That sounds like it's going to be real then, and not just let's just look at the light and fluffy stuff. But let's look at the real stuff of life.
Yeah, it's going to be what people bring.
Good. Great.
So, Karen, how do people register to be involved in the small groups? As I mentioned, about 80 people have registered so far. And should people wish to register now, how would that be? How could that happen?
It's actually really pretty easy. There's still registration forms at the entrances of each of the church sites. And it's also on our parish website. Now, our parish website is still the St. Dunstan site. We're working on a Mary Magdalene site, but right now, it's the St. Dunstan site. And so the form is there as well that you could download and fill in. And then just drop it off at church. They could probably even put it in the collection plate, maybe. Could they, Bill? Or in the collection box?
Yeah, they could do that, Jeb. Put it in a collection box and they come to church. It'd be great. So, okay. Yeah, just drop it off at the office as well. Whatever way. Yeah.
I just wasn't sure what the office hours are with COVID still happening.
Yeah, like people, the office people can just come and drop it off. There's a bell at the doors, and so people can just ring the bell and do it. But
great,
so that'd be great.
I don't think I have any more questions. Do you?
I would just make one comment that for whatever reason, not everyone will be able to join small groups, and so just so people know that we're going to engage the wider parish community in making sure that they're surrounding those who have signed up for groups with lots of prayer support, and we'll be keeping people updated in the process as we move along. So everyone in the parish will be able to pray within the process itself, and more will be brought to you as we engage that as we further engage that process. So we're looking forward to this happening. And of course, there's going to be the option when you sign up as well, whether you want to meet in person or on Zoom. And so already people have identified their preference for, and so lots have chosen the preference to come one-on-one. in person and groups, and others are quite comfortable with the Zoom. But we all want to be doing it at the same time. So once we're clear again to meet more safely, given the COVID situation, then we'll be up and going. So we're looking forward to this process very much. And so keep everyone in prayer and that's engaged. And we know that our God is with us as we're moving forward.
That sounds good. And soon is like we're almost in the same room and not in different provinces.
Exactly. Yeah. The way my experience of being in Zoom meetings is that people's faces are right there. If you haven't been on Zoom, you do see people right there, and you have a chance to engage in a small group. It's easily done, and it's easy to sign up on. All you need to do is click a few buttons, and there you are. And so you don't have to know a lot about Zoom to do so. You just need to know how to sign in, and then we'd have someone leading the session that would be able to facilitate what happens there.
And all of that is coming from techie Father Bill. So if Father Bill's saying it's good, and easy, it's going to be good and easy. And by the way, for those of you who haven't been on Zoom before, that's what we're doing right now. This is Zoom. So, and look how good it is. All right. This has been great, Bill.
Well, thanks, Karen, and see you at our next ad hoc meeting on Zoom. So.
All right.